Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to English Sprout TV, the place where learning English feels like chatting with friends, not sitting in a boring classroom. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emra, and today we're tackling something that drives almost every English learner crazy at some point. Alex, what do you think is the #1 grammar topic that makes people want to throw their textbook out the window?
Oh, that's easy. Prepositions. Those tiny little words in, on, at that somehow have a million different rules and exceptions. I mean, you say in the morning, but on Monday morning. You say at night, but in the middle of the night. It makes no sense, right?
Exactly. And the worst part, native speakers never think about this. We just say it. We never had to memorize rules. We absorbed it naturally. But if you're learning English as a second language, someone probably gave you a giant chart with 47 rules and told you to memorize it.
Well, forget that chart. Today, we're making prepositions simple. Actually simple. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly when to use in, on, and at for time and place. And we're going to do it through real conversation, not grammar lectures. Ready, Emma?
So ready. Let's sprout some English.
Okay, before we dive into examples, let's talk about the big idea. Here's the thing about prepositions. They're not as random as they seem. There's actually a pattern. Think of it like this. In is for big spaces, on is for surfaces, and at is for specific points.
Ooh, I like that. Big spaces, surfaces, specific points. But let's make it even clearer. Alex, imagine you're talking about time. Can you give me the 3 main categories?
Sure. So for time, think of it this way. In equals longer periods of time, months, years, seasons, centuries. On equals specific days and dates. At equals exact times and special expressions.
Perfect. And for place, in equals enclosed spaces, big areas, countries, cities. On equals surfaces, streets, floors, islands. At equals specific addresses, exact locations, points on a map.
That's the framework. Now let's destroy the confusion with real examples. Emma, let's start with time. Give me a sentence with in.
Okay, I was born in 1995. That's a year, long period.
Great. I love traveling in summer. Season.
We'll finish the project in March, month.
He reads a lot in the evening, part of the day.
Wait, hold on. In the evening. But what about at night? That's also a part of the day.
Ah, you caught me. Yes, at night is an exception, and English is full of these little exceptions that make you want to cry. But here's the good news, there aren't many. At night is basically the only common time expression that breaks the in rule for parts of the day. Morning, afternoon, evening all use in. Night uses at.
So just memorize at night and you're fine for the rest?
Exactly. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but at night. One exception. Not so scary now, right?
Much better. Okay, now let's do on for time.
On is the easiest one, honestly. Any specific day or date.
I have a meeting on Monday.
My birthday is on June 15th.
We always have dinner together on Christmas Day.
Perfect. And here's where it gets fun. What if you combine them? On Monday morning.
Oh, so when you have a day plus a part of day, on wins?
Exactly. The more specific information takes priority. In the morning is general. On Monday morning is specific because of the day. So on eats in.
I love that. On eats in. That's going to stick in my head.
Now, at for time. This is for exact clock times and special fixed expressions.
The train leaves at 3:45.
I wake up at sunrise.
Let's meet at noon.
At midnight, at dawn, at dusk, at the moment, at present. These are fixed expressions you just learn as chunks.
So at is for precision, exact time, exact moment.
Bingo. Think of at as the tip of an arrow pointing to one exact spot on the timeline.
Okay, time prepositions, check. Now let's talk about place, because this is where people really get tangled up. Alex, start us off with in.
In for place means inside something or within a large area. Countries, cities, rooms, containers.
I live in Brazil.
She's waiting in the kitchen.
There's milk in the fridge.
We're in the city center.
What about being in a car versus on a bus? I remember being confused by that.
Oh, great question. This is the classic learner trap. Here's the simple rule. If you can stand up and walk around inside it, you're on it. If you have to sit down and stay put, you're in it.
Wait, that's brilliant. So a car, you sit, you can't walk around in a car.
Right. But a bus, a train, a plane, a ship, you can stand up and walk to the bathroom or the snack bar. On a bus, on a train, on a plane, on a ship.
What about a taxi? You sit in a taxi, right?
Correct. In a taxi. Small, you sit, can't walk around.
And a bicycle?
And on a bicycle, you sit on top of it like a surface.
This is so much clearer than memorize a list of vehicles. One rule covers everything.
That's the power of understanding why, not just what. Okay, on for place. Surfaces, streets, floors, islands, public transport.
The book is on the table.
There's a beautiful painting on the wall.
I live on Oak Street.
I live on Oak Street. Japan is an island on the Pacific Ocean.
Wait, on the Pacific Ocean, not in.
Islands are on the ocean because they're sitting on the surface of the water. Continents are in the ocean because they're surrounded by it. But honestly, most native speakers don't even think about this distinction. On the ocean for islands is the standard expression.
Got it. What about on the corner versus in the corner?
Another classic. On the corner means at the intersection of two streets, outside. In the corner means inside a room, like the spider is in the corner of the ceiling.
So I'll meet you on the corner of 5th and Main, outside.
And the cat is sleeping in the corner, inside the room. See, the logic holds. In equals enclosed space, on equals surface or intersection point.
Okay, now at for place. This is the tricky one, right?
At is actually the easiest once you get the mindset. It's for specific points, exact addresses, and events.
I'm at the train station.
She's at 42 Baker Street.
We'll meet at the concert.
He's at work, at school, at home, at the doctor's. These are treated as points on your map, not spaces you explore.
So at the airport, you're thinking of it as a point you arrive at, not a big building you walk around in.
Exactly. And here's the beautiful part. You can actually switch between them depending on your mental picture. I'm at the airport. I'm there. It's my location. I'm in the airport. I'm walking around inside the building, maybe shopping or looking for my gate.
Whoa, so the prepositions changes based on how you see the place?
Yes, prepositions reflect your perspective. That's why native speakers don't think about rules. They just describe what they see in their mind.
That's actually a game changer. So if I picture the airport as a dot on my journey, I say at. If I picture myself inside the building, I say in.
Perfect. You just understood something most grammar books never explain.
Okay, we've covered the big three for time and place, but English loves to throw curveballs. Let's talk about those weird fixed expressions that break the rules.
The famous exceptions. Let's rapid fire these.
At the weekend. Wait, British people say this, right? Americans say on the weekend?
Yes, this is a UK versus US thing. British English at the weekend, American English on the weekend. Both are correct, just pick one and be consistent.
What about in a hurry, in love, in trouble? These aren't places.
These are metaphorical states. You're in them like you're inside a container. In love, surrounded by the feeling. In trouble, trapped in a bad situation. English loves to treat abstract things as physical spaces.
On fire, on purpose, on holiday.
On fire, imagine the flames sitting on the surface of the thing. On purpose, it's like the intention is sitting on top of your action. On holiday, British again, Americans say on vacation. Both mean you're in that state, but on treats it like a platform you're standing on.
At has some weird ones too. At random, at first, at last.
These are fixed phrases you learn as chunks. At random means from a random point. At first means at the starting point. At last means finally, at the final point. The point meaning of at still works if you stretch it.
What about in time versus on time? This confuses everyone.
Oh, this is a great one. On time equals punctual at the scheduled time. The train is on time. In time equals before a deadline with time to spare. I arrived in time for the movie. I got there before it started.
So on time equals exactly when expected. In time, early enough.
Perfect. And here's another pair.
In the end versus at the end.
Ooh, I know this one. In the end means finally, after everything. At the end, at the final point of something specific.
Give me examples.
In the end, we decided to stay home. That's the conclusion.
At the end of the street, there's a bakery. That's the physical point.
At the end of the movie, everyone cried. The final part.
Beautiful. You're getting it. What about in business versus on business?
He's in business means he owns a business, and he's here on business means he's traveling for work, right?
Exactly. In business equals being a business person. On business equals traveling for work purposes. The preposition shows the relationship.
This is so much more interesting than memorizing lists. It's like each preposition has a personality.
I love that. Yes, in is the container guy. On is the surface guy. At is the precise point guy. Once you know their personalities, you can guess even when you're not sure.
Okay, let's put this into practice. I'm going to describe my day, and I want you and our listeners to catch every preposition I use. Ready?
Challenge accepted.
So yesterday, I woke up at 7 a.m. I was in my apartment, in bed, feeling lazy, but I had a meeting at 9, so I got up. I made coffee in the kitchen and ate breakfast at the table. Then I got in my car and drove on Main Street. I arrived at the office at 8:45, right on time. At lunch, I met my friend at a cafe on 3rd Avenue. We sat in the corner and talked for an hour. In the afternoon, I worked on a big project. At 5 p.m., I left the office and went to the gym. I was in the gym for about an hour. At night, I was exhausted, so I just stayed at home and watched a movie on Netflix. I fell asleep on the couch at midnight.
Wow, that was packed. Let me count. I heard in, on, at, for, to, all working together. And you know what? I bet our listeners understood every single one without thinking about it because the context made it clear.
That's the secret. When you hear prepositions in real stories, they stop being scary grammar rules and start being just English, natural, flowing, easy.
Now let's flip it. Listeners, I'm going to say some sentences with a missing preposition. You fill in the blank before I do. Ready?
Get your mental English muscles ready.
I'll see you blank Monday.
On Monday.
The keys are blank the drawer.
In the drawer.
She's blank work right now.
At work.
We're going blank vacation next week.
On vacation.
The store is blank the corner of 5th and Oak.
On the corner.
He's sitting the sofa.
On the sofa.
There's a spider the corner of the room.
In the corner.
I prefer to study the morning.
In the morning.
But I prefer to relax night.
At night, the famous exception.
You're crushing it, and I'm sure our listeners are too. See how natural this feels when you stop overthinking?
Before we wrap up, let's talk about the 3 most common mistakes we hear from English learners. If you fix these, you'll instantly sound more natural.
Mistake number 1, saying in Monday instead of on Monday. This happens because many languages use one preposition for all days, but English is picky. Days get on.
Mistake number 2, saying arrive to the airport instead of arrive at the airport. The verb arrive almost always uses at or in. You arrive at a point or in a big area, never arrive to.
Mistake number 3, saying live on a country instead of live in a country. Countries are big containers, so they're always in. You live in France, in Japan, in Brazil. You live on an island, on a street, but in a country.
If you can fix just those 3 mistakes, you'll already sound more confident than 80% of learners at your level.
And remember, even if you mess up a preposition, people will still understand you. Native speakers are very forgiving with prepositions because even we sometimes debate them. Are you in the team or on the team? Both work.
Exactly. Communication matters more than perfection. Prepositions are important, but they're not worth losing sleep over.
All right, English Sprout TV family, we've covered a lot today. Let's do a quick recap.
In is big spaces, long times, enclosed areas. On is surfaces, specific days, things you can stand on. At is exact points, precise times, specific locations.
And the golden rule, prepositions show your perspective.
Picture it in your mind, and the right word often follows naturally.
Now, here's your homework, and this is the fun part. Write 3 sentences about your typical day using in, on, and at.
Drop them in the comments below. Alex and I will read as many as we can and give you feedback. Yes, and if you want a free PDF guide with all the rules we talked about today, plus a bonus cheat sheet for 50 common prepositional phrases, head to EnglishSproutTV.com/prepositions. It's completely free, no email required. Just download and study.
While you're there, check out our other episodes. We drop new podcasts every single day, and we've got playlists for travel English, business English, English for beginners, and more.
If this episode helped you, smash that like button, subscribe to English Sprout TV, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a daily lesson. And share this with a friend who's struggling with prepositions. They'll thank you.
Thanks for spending your time with us today. Remember, every small step you take brings you closer to fluency. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep sprouting your English.
We'll see you tomorrow for another episode. Until then, stay curious, stay confident, and speak English.
Bye for now.